Welcome everyone. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you could make money within ARC. So as a passive investor, there are two different ways you can make money. So these are basically profits or what we call static rewards within your back office. So the system, how it works here is that your profits are paid out every 12 hours. That is 12 a.m. EST and 12 p.m. EST, in which rewards are distributed. And your profits are compounded every 12 hours. So the difference between bond staking and token staking is that in bond staking, you can get up to 30% discount, from 1 to 30% discount, by purchasing the tokens or by staking into the tokens here. And in bond staking, it's only open for a limited period of time, whereas token staking is open all the time. And then the third difference is that in token staking, you can also have flexible staking, meaning your capital is not locked and can be withdrawn completely after 24 hours. So let's talk about bond staking. So there are three different periods that are available, which is 180 days, 360 days, 540 days, in which you can make from 0.24% to 1% a day. And that's how it works in terms of the daily yield that's being paid out. So let's talk about token staking, which is open all the time. So over here, if you decide to participate on flexible staking, you can make between 0.21 to 0.6% a day. And how it works as well over here is that this is open all the time. So there are three different periods as well, which you can make between 0.21 to 1% a day. And this allows you to generate passive income every day. So this is purely how a passive investor can make money within the system. So let's talk about the compensation plan for the builders. So this is termed as dynamic rewards or your commissions. So how it works, very simple, is that you have citizen referral reward. So this is basically the direct reward that's being paid out. So let's take an example. Let's say you introduce someone, you can make 10% from their daily earnings. So let's put it into numbers. So let's say you enroll someone, say John, and John invests a certain amount of funds and he's making, like, say, $100 a day. You're going to be making 10% of that, meaning you're going to be making $10 a day. So that's how this works. So the more direct referrals you have, the more direct 10% you can make every day. And this is also paid out every 12 hours. So let's talk about Citizen Alliance reward. So basically, this is the rank reward. And there are three criteria that you need to meet in order to reach these different ranks. So what's important to understand, there are 15 different ranks from S1 to S15. Personal holdings, this is how much you personally staked. Total general contribution, this is your minor sales. So it's termed as minor sales, or you could look at it as your small market or your secondary structure. So what this basically means, this is all your teams combined except your big team. Let's say, for example, you have 5 teams, out of which one out of the 5 teams will have the highest volume. So the team with the highest volume is your big market, whereas the accumulated remaining 4 teams combined is your minor sales. And that's what's counting towards the rank. Valid referred addresses, this is basically your directs, people who you directly enroll with your link and that have invested minimum 120 in the form of staking. And then reward percentage, this is what you get paid out from your team's daily earnings. So the first requirement to become S1 is you need minimum $100 in the form of staking, but we advise or we recommend the community to start with minimum 120 as a buffer, just in case there are price fluctuations. And let me give you like 3 scenarios as to how it works in terms of how the payouts are made. Let's take the first scenario that, let's say, for example, you are an S4 and that you have enrolled someone who's an S1 in your team. So in that case, you will be making the difference, meaning 15% to 30% that you're going to be getting paid out every single day. So from where you're at to where they are, the difference is what you're going to be making. So that's the first scenario. The second scenario is if you have 2 peers on the same lineage. So what this basically means, let's say, for example, you are an S2 and you enroll someone who's an S2, and they enroll someone who's an S2. So from both the S2s, you're going to be making 10% from their team's daily earnings. The next thing, the third scenario is skip one level where you can receive 5% reward. So what this basically means is, let's say, for example, you are an S3 and you enroll someone in your team who's an S4, that is one rank above you. This means that you will only make 5% from that respective team. And if there's a scenario as well, let me put the fourth scenario as well, where let's say you are an S3 and you have someone who's an S5 that is 2 levels ahead, then you will make 0 from that team. So this is how it works in a nutshell as to how the rewards are paid out for the ranks. Then the third way you can get paid on the affiliate side is the guild contribution reward. So this is actually termed as sharing performance reward in the back office. So how this works is that this is also paid out every 12 hours, just like the Citizen Alliance reward, which is paid out every 12 hours. And for you to be eligible for this, you need to be S1 or higher for you to receive this reward. And how it works is it's calculated through a formula. So personal coefficient, this is what is your personal staking. So let's say, for example, you have 10,000 in the form of staking, then you would meet the criteria of where this personal coefficient would be 1. New general contribution, this is basically your minus sales within 12 hours. And total network general contribution, this is the total community minus sales multiplied by the distributed tokens, which is between 5 to 10%. So this is how this is calculated. And this is paid out as well every 12 hours. So these are the three ways you could get paid on the active side, which is also termed as dynamic rewards. And the seventh one we're going to talk about here is there is a capping on the active rewards. So the passive side is unlimited, but on the active rewards, it's up to 5 times. So let's say, for example, your personal staking is say 1,000 US dollars. So you can make up to 5,000 in the form of active rewards. So you could see this also in the back office where every single time that you generate the active rewards, it's going to keep depleting. So once it's 0, if you want to continue earning active rewards, you need to reinvest. So on the passive side, it's unlimited, but on the active side, it's 5x. Okay. So let's talk about the withdrawals, how it works. So basically, this applies only for your profits and your commissions. So your static rewards and your dynamic rewards. This doesn't apply for your capital. So for capital, how it works is if you redeem your capital, as you know, your capital is released to you on a daily basis, on a daily linear basis for the time period in which you have staked. So if you redeem your capital, it comes directly to your wallet and you can just swap it into USDT. Okay, so when we talk about profits and commissions, it has to go through a process which is the burn and release process. So what we are looking at here is the process is that you will have to move your funds from the release to the turbine, and then from which you can withdraw and convert your funds. So let me explain that how it works. So this applies for your profits and commissions. So basically, you get to choose your withdrawal fee or your burn fee from between 0% to 20%. So the default method is 0%, meaning you will get a daily linear release of 60 days that you will be receiving your funds. So if you look at an example, let's say you have 60 ARC that you want to release over a span of 60 days. So every single day you will receive 1 ARC for the next 60 days. So that's how it works. And then let's say you choose to withdraw, let's say 20% immediately. So how that works, for example, let's say, for example, you want to withdraw, like say $100 in profits. So this means you need to fund your wallet with 20% in the form of USDT. So you need to have at least $20 in USDT if you're going to release your $100 of profits or commissions. So once you have $20 in your wallet, what it's going to do is it's going to get deducted and released to Turbo Swap. Okay, so If you go with 60 days on a daily basis, it's released to TurboSwap. So what happens here is the 20%, which is, let's say, for example, you want to withdraw $100, $20 get deducted, and the remaining $100 are moved on to Turbo. So it's very important to understand where this fees is going. So the fees up to 20% is going into Lido, which is a collaboration between Ethereum Foundation and ARC. So this is where the fees are actually transferred. So it's going into the collaboration of Lido and ARC. And the next thing that we're going to cover is TurboSwap. So once you release the rewards, it's going to move into TurboSwap. In this process, this is more like proof of funds. So let's say, for example, you have, say, $1,000 that you want to release from your DApp to your wallet. So you need to fund your wallet with $1,000 if you want to withdraw the entire $1,000 immediately. And you could do this two ways as well. Let's say if you do not have the amount that you want to withdraw, you could even start with, let's say, lower amounts, and you can do it multiple times, and you can complete the TurboSwap and withdraw your profits. So how this works, so once you are trying to move your funds from the dApp to the wallet, it's going to have a process where the funds that you prepared are going to change or could get converted automatically to ARC, and the profits that's in the dApp will move to a 12-hour cooldown period time. So during this process, once the 12 hours is completed, you can click on the withdraw button and the funds are completely moved on to your wallet, in which you could go to swap and you could swap your ARC to USDT for a selling fee of 2.5%. So 2.5% goes to ARC and 0.5% goes to PancakeSwap. So the difference here is that from money to token, that is from USDT to ARC, there is no fee, there's no buying fee, but from ARC to USDT, there is a 2.5% fee that is charged. So this is a quick summary as to how investors could generate profits within the system. And the final thing I would like to cover here is, let's say someone wants to participate in ARC without having to participate in the affiliate side. So we have a strategy put in place where each of these different ranks could be reached simply from your personal investment. So for example, if you structure things correctly with an amount of 6,500, you could reach S1 rank. With an amount of 22,000, you could reach S2. With an amount of 55,000, you could reach S3. So we have ways in which passive investors could generate income here without having to sponsor or recruit or to build the community side, simply based on their investment. And this is how it works. So this is just a quick summary as to how everything works in terms of the passive side. So two different ways in which you could make passive income, and three different ways in which you could make affiliate rewards or dynamic rewards.